Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to me in relation to this case. So, as you are probably aware, the tenant vacated the property on the 8th of August. When we completed the exit inspection, we used the entry inspection report and photos linked to the entry inspection report to reference what we were looking at during the exit inspection. We did still fill out an exit inspection report, and we also took photos of the property while we did do the inspection. During the inspection, we came across that the kitchen, main bathroom and laundry areas were not clean, as well as rubbish being left in the backyard. Please don't come here. What?
It's gonna take forever for me to clean my room.
Okay, well let me finish this and I'll come and help you clean it. Stop. Go. I told you not to make as much of a mess as you did, and you kept ripping stuff out there. We have had multiple conversations with the tenants, as well as providing the entry report, the photos with the entry report, and my exit inspection report and the exit photos, just to show comparison between the two states of the property, how it was left in comparison to how it was provided to them. During these conversations, we have expressed that the tenant would need to go back and remedy those issues by cleaning the property and also removing the rubbish themselves. However, they are not cooperating and have kept advising that the house was clean when they left. However, this could not be the case, as we received the keys as soon as they were to leave. So us having the keys the whole time meant that no one would be able to have access to the property. After them not cooperating with us for quite a while, we have reached out to receive some professional quotes, one being $500 to clean the kitchen, bathroom and laundry, and then an additional $400 to remove the outdoor rubbish. The tenant has declined paying those, in preference to saying that it wasn't their mess that they left. We have done a Form 16 and issued that to dispute the resolution form to the Residential Tenancies Authority after having our teleconference with those. Unfortunately, we could not get to a solution, hence why we are now moving on to trying to get the solution through the QCAT. Ideally, our outcome is that we will just take the money out of the bond to pay for the quotes to get the property cleaned. So what evidence can you provide to support your claims? We have our entry and exit report, we have photos, we also have the cleaning quotes, as well as our evidence and attempts to negotiate the resolution with the RTA. Just trying to find that happy medium where both parties are happy. However, we just couldn't get to that resolution. So where does it say in the tenancy agreement that the tenant is required to keep the property clean? So in the subdivision to standard of the premises, in section 25, the lessor's obligations. So while the tenancy continues, the lessor must maintain the premises in a way that the premises remains fit for the tenant to live in, maintain the premises in a good repair, keep any common areas included in the premises clean, and ensure that the premise and inclusions otherwise comply with any prescribed minimum housing standards applying to the premises or inclusions. So obviously it does state that it does have to be up to a certain standard, and yeah. So the cleanliness of the property is a matter of opinion. Yes, I do agree with that. However, in this case, it is not necessarily a matter of opinion. We have requested that the property be provided back in a state that it was provided to them. So as you can see between the two photos, as well as the inspection reports, the way that the property was handed over to them at the beginning of the tenancy is a lot cleaner in comparison to the way that they provided us at the end of the tenancy. I do understand that wear and tear can happen over time. However, the state of the house, as well as the outdoor rubbish, that is not necessarily a wear and tear. That is something that can be resolved. Why was the matter not able to be resolved from the RTA reconciliation? So we just could not find a resolution between the two parties. Unfortunately, the tenant is adamant that they did enough cleaning for the landlord to be happy with the state of the property, and they're refusing to pay the quotes or taking the money out of the bond. So what outcome is the landlord after? So they are ideally wanting it to be at a state where they are happy to re-rent the property. So clean kitchen, clean bathroom, clean laundry, and removal of rubbish. Whether that be with the previous tenant doing that on themselves, or them paying the quote, or taking it out of the bond. They just want those to be remedied. How can you be sure that the quotes you obtained are reasonable, responsible? More than happy to get multiple quotes so we can compare, so the client is aware that they are not being overcharged for the service. However, these are from reputable companies that have been provided to us, and we have been using them for quite a few years now, so we can confirm their reputation as legitimate businesses. And what orders would you like this tribunal to make? Either the tenant paying for the quotes and it getting professionally done, or the money's being taken out of the bond for me to then take and pay those quotes. Yeah, ideally we just want the house to be clean, up to a certain standard, and for there to be no rubbish on the outside. Like I said, just wanting to keep the house how it was when it was provided to those tenants, to then be able to provide that same standard to the next tenant.